So today I wanted to talk about websites because I've had quite a lot of requests from you guys wanting to know how I have made my website, what platform I use, everything to do with the e-commerce side of things, from commission pricing and everything like that. I'm not going to go into how I price my commissions today, but I thought I would give you like a brief overview of my website, how I've built it and the way that I use it. So as probably a lot of you will be aware, there are several different platforms for websites. So you've got WordPress, you've got Squarespace, and you've got Wix, which I think are the main three. Out of those three sort of platforms, I've had 2 websites built. So the first website I ever had done was when I first started the business, and I got a professional web designer to build it, and I think it cost me about £1,100, I'm going to say, because it's an e-commerce website. And when you ask for an e-commerce website, for those of you who don't know, e-commerce is a shop front on a website, so it allows you to obviously sell products. So web designers seem to charge quite a lot more to have an e-commerce website compared to just a normal website. So I think the whole thing cost me about £1,100, which is expensive, and you do not need to have a professional website built for you. You really, really don't. It didn't work for me. It was built, as I said, it was built via WordPress, and it was the hardest thing to ever edit. I couldn't go back in, I couldn't adjust anything, I couldn't change anything. It was just a complete nightmare. So when I think I had that website for about 6 months to a year, and I really, really wasn't happy with it. I wasn't happy with I just didn't think it was like user friendly, to be honest. So I did some research and I came across Wix. And the Wix website builder was so easy and so simple and so cheap in comparison to getting an e-commerce website built. So the first thing that you do when you go onto Wix is it gives you a wide range of templates, and you can just pick and choose to whatever suits your business. I think it gives you like categories depending on what your business is, and then you can build your website around it. So I found it really, really so simple, and I wish that this video was sponsored by Wix, because I'm going to be talking about them a lot and how good they are. So I've had my Wix website for probably about 4 years, and it's done me so well. So initially it's free to build, and you can then sort of edit it and get it to exactly how you want it. Now, I think in your first year with different plans, like obviously, like with anything, you can get like a free website, you can build it, and then you can upgrade it and pay a little bit a month to have like an e-commerce website built, to remove Wix ads, to get a year's free domain, to get some storage on your website and things like that. So depending on what plan suits you, I've got I think it's a business basics account, and I think it's a premium plan, and it costs me about £13 a month, and that gives me so much freedom to run a complete e-commerce website and e-commerce store and everything. It's absolutely brilliant. So as I said, it's free to build, and then you pay for domain or hosting. So your actual website, like your URL. So obviously mine's bethanybearart.co.uk. So I think I pay about £60 a month to have that domain. And in my mind, that just comes out of my business expenses, just like the website. All the website comes out of my business expenses, so I don't even really think about it. I need it, and I think so in total, the website each year costs me about £240 a year, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a lot for everything it does for me. So as I said, you can choose your plan to suit you, and for the one that I've got, it allows me 3 email campaigns a month, and I'll be honest, I don't really use them, and I really should, but I don't. I will kind of send out an email bulletin when I feel like it, and if I've got like an announcement to make, or if I'm doing a big product launch or anything, that's when I will send out an email bulletin. So as I said, I've got an e-commerce site, and yeah, it's really, really great. So the biggest thing I love about Wix is the simplicity of it. It's so easy to just jump in and swap out things and change photos and change anything you like. You can change your template, you can change so much, and it's absolutely brilliant for just being easy to edit, really. So some of you probably won't, if you don't have like products, if you're not shipping prints or selling prints or anything like that, and you're just purely commissioned artist, it'd be a lot cheaper for you. It probably won't cost you that much at all. I think it's about, just to remove the ads and get a domain, it's probably about £4 a month. So, or £5, I don't know. You'll have to go onto Wix and just check it out. I will pop a link to Wix website, I think, in the description box. below on Patreon. I think is the description box. I don't really know Patreon that much. I'm still a newbie here. So it's really annoying. I really hope that you can't hear that. And if you can hear it, I'm really sorry, but I'm sat in the garden because it's really, really nice here. And yeah. Anyway, okay, so yeah, as I said, some of you won't really need an e-commerce website, whereas I definitely need an e-commerce website because I sell prints and greetings cards and originals from my website, and I'm going to go into absolutely everything that I use my business for. So I really, really hope that you find this video useful. I would probably recommend getting a notepad and pen, getting a drink. It's probably going to be a long one, and let's get sort of really as deep as we can into website building. As I said, with Wix you don't have to code. So when you think about website building, you think, oh my god, it's going to be so stressful and I don't know anything about coding. But it's fine because Wix does it all for you, and everything is automated. It's quite simple, it's user friendly, it's absolutely brilliant. So I've written notes down, and I think the first thing I'm sort of going to go into is things that you will need on a website, regardless of whether you've got an e-commerce website or whether you're just doing it as a commission artist, or whether you just want sort of like a overall presence for your business. And I think I've spoken about it before. I would 100% recommend anyone to have a website. If you're a budding artist, if you're a hobbyist, if you want to make a little bit of money for it, because it's your space. I know social media platforms are like really, really great and they're your space as well, but your website is your own, and you know, you can link other things to it. You can link your social media platforms. It's like the one thing, it's your one place that you can just, you know, people I find it really hard to explain, but obviously when people go on Instagram, they tend to go on Instagram to see what's going on. Same with on Facebook. When people go on your website, it's because they're generally interested in what you've got to tell them, so make it interesting for them. So one of the key things that I would say is keep your website up to date. If you've got any announcements, if you've got any news, if you're doing like new commissions, just keep everything really, really fresh and really relevant. Update it probably about once a month if you can, or even more, maybe less, I don't know, just whatever suits you, but try and keep anything new on your website. Wix makes it really, really easy to see what your website's going to look like from a laptop point of view to a tablet or mobile point of view. It's really, really crucial that you make everything user-friendly on a laptop or a computer, as well as user-friendly on a phone or a tablet. And Wix makes it really, really easy. It just gives you a little icon, and you can just click on the icon. It will take you to what it's going to look like as on a mobile screen, and then you can just shrink the images, shrink the text, and just change it so it looks perfect on a mobile. Honestly, it's so easy and really, really good. If I can do it, and I'm like the worst person with technology, I guarantee you can do it too. So yeah, make sure everything is mobile friendly, because I think the majority of people now are looking at things on mobile phones, they're looking at things on tablets. Not many people have an actual PC anymore, unless they're running a business from home, I think. You know, most people sit on like their tablet and scroll through Facebook whilst they're watching TV. So you know, you need to make sure that you need to essentially make it really, really easy to buy from you. Make it just the easiest experience. The easier the experience, the more people are going to buy from you, the more sales you're going to make, the happier you're going to be, because you're making more money, essentially. On the first page of any website, I think it's absolutely key to have really good photography. Photography is like the biggest thing when it comes to a website, in my mind. Now, you don't have to have a professional photographer to come in. I mean, I'm very fortunate that one of my best friends is a photographer. She's done a lot of my work, and she's done a lot of photography on my website. But so many people ask me how I take my Instagram photos, and I always do it. I just do it on my phone. It's absolutely brilliant, and that is, you know, it. And you can take really, really good photos of yourself, your work, things like that on your phone, upload them to Wix. Mobile phones these days take brilliant quality photos. That's all you really need. One thing I would say when it comes to photography is don't make your images too big, because they can take a little while to load, and if things take a while to load on a website, people just tend to click off them. So try and keep, I think Wix will kind of shrink it and make it as, you can't upload files that are massive anyway, but just be aware that sometimes the bigger the image, the longer it takes to upload and the longer it takes to load on an actual page, and yeah, it can just be a little bit of a a bad thing. So on my website, I tend to have like an about thing on my main homepage, and it's basically like a little bit of an artist statement. So it's like who I am, what I'm into, not what I'm into, but like what I offer, how I work, why I do what I do, and it's like an artist statement basically. So it's my USP, what is my unique selling point? Well, I'm an equestrian artist, I work in coloured pencils, my work is known for the anatomy and sort of like just the detail and things like that. I work for Team GB, I work for Charlotte, I work for Carl, I work for, whoever I work for, whoever you work for. It's just really important to give like an overall summary, like a little short paragraph explaining who you are and why you're so great. And like what makes you stand out basically. Obviously, one of the biggest things to include is lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of examples of your work, whether that's work in progress photos, whether it's a gallery where you get clients to send you pictures of framed work back, or it's really important to have lots and lots of images of your work in multiple scenarios. So whether it's prints, I think I shot prints in the garden last year in front of plants. I've got photos of me and clients, I've got photos of me and Team GB, I've got photos of work in progress, I've got photos of things that are framed, just a variety of things so people can see that you're not just like a one-trick pony, that you've got a lot of things going on, and you've got a lot of things to offer. One thing that is absolutely essential for building a website is making it clear and clean, make it as simple as possible. The amount of websites that I've seen over the years of people who have made who have done it from like they've got a black background, they've written white text, and it just, I don't know, it's not for me. I like to keep things as obvious and clear and simple as possible, because as I said before, the more complicated your website is, the more people, the less people are really gonna be able to get to know you, and they're not going to want to, I wouldn't say they're not going to want to buy from you, but obviously the cleaner and simpler it is, the easier it is for people to buy, the easier it is for people to see what you charge and how you work. And it's just, I would go for like a cleaner, simple website. I've got like, I don't have like black on white, but I've sort of like got a dark grey text on all of it. I like to space out text, and I like to make it as clean and simple and professional as possible. That's my preference. Obviously you do you, but that is essentially the way that I have done things, and it's really, really worked. And I've had a lot of people say to me in the past, it's so easy to navigate around your website, and your pricing structure is very, very clear, the way you've laid things out, which is what I like to hear. So that comes on to obviously like the clear pricing structure. So I mean, for me, I'm not going to go into like commission pricing today, but the way I price, just very briefly, is because I'm mainly an equestrian artist, I have sort of separated just natural horse portraits to ones with tack on them. So whether it's a head collar, whether it's a bridle, I keep them in two separate columns, and I charge differently for them, because things with like leather, head collars, things like that, they take a lot longer, therefore charge more, because you can do that. So I can make it very, very obvious. And then people who have got dogs, I don't have like a separate pricing guide for them. They just sort of go on sort of like the natural horse photos, so the one without the bridle and things like that. And any pets or anything, cats and things like that, are exactly the same. So make it really as clear as possible. So I mean, I've done mine in as a grid. It's very easy to see sort of like with the size that I offer, the pricing. And I mean, initially I did it in I think on my first website I had sort of in pounds, in dollars and euros. I don't do it anymore. I've just got a very clear UK pricing structure, because if people want to know how much you're charging they live abroad, they can generally just go and put it in on Google, and it gives them a much more accurate translation of pricing. Because obviously with the euro crashing, with the pound crashing at the moment, it's just like, you can't, unless you want to update your website every single day to suit the international pricing guides, I wouldn't bother. So sometimes you might get people say to you, I live in Australia, how much is it going to cost? Well, that's fine. You can sort of just be like, you can just do that when you need to do it, instead of, you know what I mean. I'm just going to stop talking. One of the things that is really, really important is having clear call to action. So at the bottom of every single page, I've got social media links, and I have got a subscribe to my website, and I've also got my mobile number and email address. So at the bottom of every single page, it's like a contact form, or not a contact form, it's just like a little bit, it's like a little section of information where people can get hold of me, and I think that's really, really important. People want, obviously, social media links are super important. I've got an actual Instagram, like I think it's like the top 4 photos of my Instagram on my homepage, just like I've got a YouTube link on my homepage. The first thing that, if you're new and if you've never been on my website before, it will always come up with an automatic pop-up as soon as someone clicks on the website, and it will say never miss an update, subscribe now. Having subscriptions and people subscribe to your website is so important. I cannot emphasize how important it is to have an sort of like a email list for people, because with Facebook being weird, I mean, the other day, right, Mark Zuckerberg apparently has, with the pandemic, he's sort of said that he's going to create this small business shop front. I'm really interested to see what that's going to entail, and I will, of course, if I do it, I will film a video telling you whether you should and shouldn't do it, because it's really, really interesting. I don't know how it's going to be, but about 3-4 years ago, I think it was, Mark Zuckerberg turned around and said that he wanted to make Facebook essentially back to what it was before, so he didn't really want small businesses to be using it, so he really made it difficult for small businesses to survive on Facebook. And obviously Instagram's been a platform for me that's been a lot better over recent years, and the growth on Instagram, the print sales and things like that have been a lot better than they ever have been before. But one of the things that is really, really important is, you know, if you've got a list of contacts on your website and on your email subscription list, then you've got X amount of people that are going to pick up your email. They are definitely going to see it in their inbox, whereas on social media you're sort of risking the algorithms. You know, you're saying if the algorithm doesn't work in your favour, then people aren't going to see the work, whereas obviously on an email subscription, they're definitely, it's going to be banging in their inbox. So I mean, as I said, on the plan I've got, I think I get 3 email bulletins a month. I use probably about 1 to 2 of them. I don't use all 3 because I don't like to bombard people, but I just give them like a little update every now and then, as I said, whether there's like a new print release or anything like that. So it works really, really well, and I think email subscriptions are the way forward. It's really, really important to do that. Depending on whether you're really good at writing or not, I'm awful at writing and I really don't enjoy it, but I know a lot of people like set up a blog, so you can sort of like, when I started my business, that's definitely something I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to talk to people and sort of write a blog post about how I was working and doing what I was doing, and like the clients and meeting clients and things like that, but I'm just not really academic, and I find it really, really hard to sit down and write, so I didn't do it. And but I think if you really enjoy writing, having a blog post, having a blog page on your website is a really, really great thing, because it gives people something to read, and you can sort of go into the ins and outs of the way you work, the way you do your portraiture, any struggles that you're having. I mean, I do it on YouTube, I do it on Patreon, I ramble to you guys, I chat crap on YouTube, and not every time draw with me. So that's like my blog in a way. So you just do you. If you want to start a YouTube, start a YouTube. If you prefer writing, start a blog. It's just there's no right and wrong. The last thing that I would say is really, really important on your website is to have terms and conditions, and especially if you're an e-commerce business. People want to know they're in a safe hands when they buy from you. So, you know, have a frequently asked questions page. What happens if your print turns up and it's damaged? What happens if things get lost in the post? You know, you just need to cover all eventualities. Very, very rare that happens, but it might happen. It has happened to me before, and I make it very, very clear my procedure on the website as to how I deal with customers, and so it's like customer contact, customer service, customer care almost. I think that is kind of everything for the business side, like for the website side, like the layout of the business, because I think on mine I've got commissions, I've got a homepage, I've got a shop front, I've got customer care, I've got an original page. I think that's about it, but I'm going to come on to the e-commerce side of things now, for those of you who are interested in selling greetings cards, prints, originals from your website, and I'm going to sort of give you how I do it and why I do what I do. When I set up my e-commerce page on my website, the main thing that I did is I set up one form of payment. I now have 2 forms of payment on my website, but initially I just had PayPal, because I believe that everyone hasn't had a PayPal. But then as time went on, people are asking for a credit debit card option. So I did some research, and again Wix made it really easy. It gave me several different options that are going to be compatible with their website builder, the actual website, and I chose to use Stripe. So with PayPal, obviously it takes a cut, just like Stripe does. I can't, off the top of my head, I don't know how much percentage PayPal and Stripe take, but it's a little bit. PayPal is instant payment, so as soon as someone pays for a print on my website or something on my website with PayPal, the money is instantly in my PayPal account. I can withdraw it and put it into my bank account. With Stripe, it takes about 4 to 5 working days, so you are almost like waiting for that payment. So just bear that in mind. I think it's the same for any other like credit card, debit card kind of providers like Stripe. I don't know the other ones off the top of my head, but I mean, that is definitely something to bear in mind. So for greetings cards, prints, and it's just greetings cards and prints for me. I will sell everything through the website, so I give people the option to pay for it via PayPal or Stripe. Originals, because PayPal and because PayPal and Stripe take X amount percentage, I can't afford, for when I'm selling an original for £7,000, £8,000, £9,000, whatever, however much I'm selling the original for, if I did it via PayPal or Stripe, it would take a significant cut of that money. So I will never sell anything like that through the website, because in all honesty, why would you want to hand over that money to a payment company? You wouldn't, when you worked hard for that. So I would do everything like that via bank transfer. And I think when people are buying like an original, they're spending a lot more money from you. It's really nice to have that customer liaison. It's really nice to talk to that customer, whether it's via phone call, whether it's via emails. It's just a more personal touch, and people really appreciate that. And also the benefit to that is you don't get it via a bank transfer, and there's no fees involved, so you don't get a percentage cut out of it. One thing I would say, just going back briefly to the things that are really important for your website, is Google Analytics. Now, I am not the best with Google Analytics, I'll be honest. Wix does make it relatively easy. It gives you sort of meta tags and keywords and things for you to put in, and it sort of gives you tips on how you can rank higher in Google. It allows you to hire an SEO advisor off from Wix if you really wanted to do that. Now, there's two ways of looking at it. I have built my business and my website has become what it is from social media. I don't think I even rank that well at all, if anything, on Google, to be honest, because I've never really been that Google savvy, SEO savvy, and I don't really know what I'm doing. So I just link all my social media platforms straight over to my website, and that is how I sell my prints. It's not through Google. And I was chatting to my friend recently who is a web designer, and he said that it's really important for you to be on Google and have landing pages and to improve your SEO and things like that. I can see what they're saying, and I think if you are savvy enough, and that is definitely something to bear in mind, but it's not something I've done. I will do it in future, and when I transition and start doing more on Google and SEO, then of course I will film it and tell you about the experience and how I've done it on this Patreon channel. But for now, I've got keywords, I've got meta tags and things like that, but the majority of what I do is via social media, and that's the way that I link things over. And obviously that gives like links to YouTube and Patreon and everything like that. When people order through the website, it is absolutely fantastic. Not only do I do a little happy dance because I'm like, yay, someone likes me enough to buy some of my work, or likes my work enough to buy something, but I get a little notification on my phone that says blah blah blah, you have a new order, which is absolutely, I've got a missed call. Oh no, who's trying to get hold of me? Right, so when you get orders through your website, the best thing that Wix allows me to do is it allows me to send tracking details, and I think that is really important. So I will film another video about the ins and outs of how I package in depth, and with like how I use Royal Mail, the services that I use depending on like why I do what I do and things like that. Because I think what I really struggle with is that I feel like everything that I do, I don't even think about anymore, but I know that I have to break it all down and explain it to you guys, which is absolutely fine. But I think sometimes I just get like a bit up in my head. I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing. But so when as I said, when someone orders something, then and it packages up and it goes to the post office, then I get a receipt, and no matter how I send anything, if it's like signed for, if it's tracked international, then I get a little code. And Wix makes it really, really simple. I have to go onto my laptop, and just getting very hot. I go onto my laptop and I can just go onto the Wix, so the back end of Wix. So obviously, when you build a website, you've got the website, and then you've got sort of the back end of it, which is where obviously you can go in and edit. And when you go in and edit, you've got customer management. You click on customer management, and it gives you an option of like, you can edit your products, you can see what orders you've had through. So when you go onto the orders, then I can click on an order and I can put in the tracking details, and it will say fulfill order, and I can click yes, and it will say would you like to send an automated email with tracking details, and I'll click yes, and then it just allows me to input the tracking number and also the courier service, and then it will send an automated email to the customer, and then they can go and just click on the email, click on the link that I've given them for the tracking service, input the figures or input the number, and voila, they get the tracking details. And just like when someone places an order, the website automatically sends them an email with my logo on it. It says thank you so much for your order, you've ordered this, and it's so simple. I don't have to do anything like that. I don't have to do anything with the checkout page, I don't have to do anything with the automated emails. It just does it automatically for me, which is brilliant, and it saves me a lot of time and a lot of stress. So the last thing I'm going to mention about Wix and why I found it so great is how user friendly the mobile app is. It is so incredibly useful. So when I get an order through, or an inquiry, if someone fills in a contact form, that was one thing I didn't mention actually. I make it so simple for people to, or try and make it so simple for people to get in hold of me, to get in touch. So underneath my commission pricing list, I've got a contact form. So if someone actually is interested in the commission, they don't have to go to another page and go, how do I get hold of her? They just keep scrolling down. It will say fill in your name, your number, your surname, your email address, and your message. And then when they fill it in, I get a little notification on here. I'm able to go straight into my phone, see what's going on, see how I can help them, whether I can help them, and voila, it's job done really, and it's absolutely simple. So obviously with the app, it makes things a lot easier. When I get an order, when I get a new subscriber to the website, when I get an inquiry, a contact form filled in, anything like that, it comes straight on the app. The app is brilliant. It's so user friendly. It gives me total revenue for how much money that the shop store has made over like the last 4 or 5 years that I've had this website. It gives me a breakdown of how much money it's made in the last 4 weeks through the store. It tells me when products are out of stock. It tells me, it gives me an inventory. I can edit everything through the app. It's brilliant, and it's so great, and it's made the user experience of Wix very good for me. So I think the last thing that is really good with the Wix app is on the inbox. It links, I don't know how I did it, I must have done it at some point, but I've linked the inbox with Facebook. So whether I get a message on my Facebook page, my business Facebook page, not my personal one, or through the website, it will come through as a notification on my Wix website on the app, and it just allows me to keep all my inbox and sort of like my website inquiries and my Facebook page in one place. Because for me, I find it very difficult to manage emails, Instagram, Facebook, website, everything like Patreon, YouTube, everything. It can get too much sometimes, and I like to keep things all in one place. So Wix makes it really simple to do that. I think roughly that is pretty much everything that I need to cover in this website building, website analytical speech thing, breakdown of everything I do. I really hope you found it useful. If there's anything you would like me to speak more of or go into more detail about, please do let me know. I think for now though, that is probably it. and I won't bore you anymore. I hope you found it useful. I hope you're staying safe, you're staying alert, you're staying well, and I will see you in the next one. As always, thank you so much for being a patron. You guys mean the world to me, and I love you so much. So I will see you very soon. Bye.